improve mental quality. We have had instances and cases of bullying within the campus. Faculty of Law can testify to that. Relating to them, I'm calling their attention to we look like at managing the environment, even within the classes and walls. If you look at it, accountable or responsible for managing this work. The last thing, you are applying for exam moderation stipend. Sometimes 1 year you have not received the amount. This money is supposed for the moderation comes back and wait for 6 months, 1 year before that money is released. Like our sister has, that need to be looked into, sir. And finally, just like the ICC people, and I remember since the time of Plan 1, sir, I think it will be a great deal of help if at the end of your...
Thank you so very much. Just one, we'll take just one, and then we'll invite, one please. Sorry.
Okay, good afternoon, Vice Chancellor. I will just go straight. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much for your contributions. Let's have you for it. Okay. Let's have
I'd like to join others in congratulating the Vice Chancellor and his management team. My point is a very simple one I want to make. I've been insisting I want to make it. I made it in the forum 5 years ago. I want to repeat it here. The question to answer is, what is the value that this university will place on potential alumnus? And this is so because the University of Jos is uniquely situated and is blessed with people from different parts of this country and outside of this country. It goes without saying that other universities, I was in ABU for over 2 decades, and ABU has benefited a lot from alumni relations. BUK as well, I've not been BUK, but BUK has benefited. I've been in Uganda and also in Tanzania, and I have seen the value that alumni bring to the university. So the question to answer is, and this is not just for the Vice Chancellor and his management team, but for all of us here, deans, directors, heads of departments, lecturers, what value would we place on our potential within the alumni office so that these activities can be strategically implemented for the benefit of our university? This is because of the important role that alumni play in the survival of universities. What is the value we will place? Thank you.
Thank you so very much for your contributions. We have the last speaker before we invite the union officials that are here. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. I join many others in congratulating you in your first year in office. We are assured that the achievements recorded within short periods gives us hope that the future is bright for this university. And I must say that personally, I am glad that at this time in the history of the university, you are the Vice Chancellor. So I have just 2 things I want to draw your attention to. So at the entrance to our university, at the gates, I describe the place as a bundle of confusion. I think we need to sit down and devise a planning solution to the traffic crisis. The way the Keke Napep maneuver in front of the gate there. Apart from being an eyesore, in event of crisis, that place can be a very big hotspot. I think we can better manage it, and I wish the management can look into that. So number two, in your opening remarks, you told us how in the office of the head of service, you were giving a limited number for recruitment because over 90% of the programs got accreditation. And I'm thinking, do we need to hold meetings with our heads of department? Because if we got 100% or 90-something percent accreditation for our programs, it presupposes that we are doing well in terms of facilities, in terms of manpower. But we know the reality on ground that we're not doing well. So it means that many of us are doing window dressing. I think there are many of our heads of department who will do whatever it is to cover up, to present to the Vice Chancellor that they got accreditation. But the truth is that we do not have the requisite facilities for those accreditations. Is there a way we can sit down and tell ourselves the truth? If that will give us more opportunities in terms of recruitment like you saw at the head of service office. So I think we have to find a way to balance our desire to satisfy our Vice Chancellor and the reality that he got faced with when he went to Abuja. Thank you, sir. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much for your contributions. We are making progress.
I'm sorry. I see Professor Dr. Barbar's hand has been up. And we need to hear, we need a feminine voice.
Thank you, Prof. Actually, what I wanted to say is what Professor Alachi said, but just to add a voice to say congratulations, sir, and to say that the issue of the traffic at the gate, that the space between the gate and where the refuse is usually dumped, that place can be cleared and leveled so that a park can even be created there for the keke napeps and others. Like I said, the planning is a planning problem which can be handled by our department if the Vice Chancellor, sir, you can give us that permission. We will handle it.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. At this juncture, I would like to invite the representatives of the union that are here, of ASU, NASU, SANU, and NAT. May I now invite the representative of SANU in the person of Anthony Joro that is here with us this morning. Please.
Thank you. May I join the congregation here in thanking God for the 1-year anniversary of the Vice Chancellor. Sir, as a union, we are only looking for or talking more of the welfare of members. But I realize at this particular meeting, most of the observations and most of the comments in terms of upliftment of the university is talking about a technologically driven university. But we have also forgotten too that the human resources matters a lot in ensuring that the complement at which we are driving at will be attained. Sir, if you recall when we suspended our strike, we mentioned it here to you, we wrote to you, informing you of the environment, how tidy and how conducive is it for us to come and do our duty. And if you recall sometimes back too, we are only talking about what will come out from the university. But we are also not looking about what are we also giving out to the university as a way of uplifting the university from our own personal aspect, outside our statutory duty. I must say this because when we moved on from Bauchi Road, where the congestion was much, and to a larger place here, meaning that we have much work at our hands. And if you recall, SANU as a union actually contributed financially towards some of the beautification of this university for us to have a conducive environment to work. I must tell you, sir, that our environment is not really conducive if you look around. And on that few notes, before I make the second point, sir, I want to lean on, somebody has said it here. The management needs a strong task force, not a committee. A task force that will go around, if possible, in every 2 or 3 months, report back to the management, where they found out a lot of these problems that we've been listening and saying here, so that the management can look at it. The fact that we know that the statutory amount cannot carry us because it's not being released these days, but how do we feed back to the system? Have we thought of also generating a system of generating revenue outside the statutory amount that is being charged as budgeted for, so that we can complement some of these things? I think it's a puzzle for us to begin to think in that way. Because all the problems we are listening to you, I believe it will end up at the table of the bursary, no funds or no budget being captured for it. But we should be thinking out of the box. How do we assist the management in terms of generating revenue that will help us to complement some of these problems we are talking about? If our thought is yet to reach that dimension, it thereby means we are yet to start the race at which most people have listed here. I remember in some of the presentation there, somebody made mention of the system. And I think as another person said, the system he has been using for 10 years back. That's to tell you that we are not committed towards contributing towards the upliftment of this system. Just like somebody made mention about the issue of the alumni contribution. Have we thought of involving our alumni into the development of this university? Or in us, have we thought of also doing that to our own selves? If we don't look into this aspect, definitely we still have a long way to go. The other aspect I want to talk about secondly, sir, is to encourage you on the issue of the PPP. In Ilorin, University of Calabar, University of Lagos and Benin, where some of us have gone in, to congregate the students in one place, the policy of PPC was carried out by the same task force that I'm talking about. And before you knew, a lot of the hostels today in Ilorin is handled by that same committee, in liaison or in collaboration with the Student Affairs Unit. And today you find out that in their presentation we were made to understand that only 1/3 of the students are congregated here in the hostels. The fact that the development are coming up, but if we explore that means, leaving the task force to go out and give you a report, I believe that if we might be able to congregate half of our students, and that will reduce the insecurity or the level of fear that we have anytime there's a little problem in town, because most of the students living around us, the university, the perimeter of the university, are all living in different places, and if you congregate them here, you will find out that it will reduce the problem of insecurity, especially how the students are affected whenever there is an issue of any problem of any crisis that we find ourselves today in it, sir. And to add up the third one, sir, I also want to look into the issue of how you helped us. The director of fiscal facilities made mention of it. Sir, it's so sad. If you work here, some of us who work here up till 8 p.m. and we ask our subordinate to stay behind. And some of us have the idea of not even giving them the leave because we want them to close over the offices. Moving from this block to the gate, you'll be thinking of any sound as if somebody is about hitting you or trying to collect whatever you have or you are holding. Meaning that the lighting system in the night here is so poor, sir. And it will not help us as we dispense our work even to late hours. And we are calling that you look into that, sir. Conclusively, sir, I want to beg on you and your management, sir, that the task force also, as I made mention, be given the opportunity to explore all other means as we can congregate our students, especially in respect to my feelings is in respect to their participation in view of one of the achievements that you attend on the issue of the forthcoming Luga Games, so that the students will be highly feasible while as they are studying, they also carry out that. Just like these days we see them congregating along our offices to access internet facilities. I believe if we have a number of our students who are comfortable in their hostels, it will give them more room for participation into some of this and it will pull them away from some of the social vices they find themselves. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, Mr. Tony Timjonjoro. May we now have, okay.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, very straight to the point as you authorized, Jube Joseph Molus of the Department of Building. I would like to say something about work ethics. Work ethics, with practical examples of how we have been affected with respect to accessing our offices in the morning. You wake up very early in the morning, hasten your way to office, and a security personnel who is supposed to be manning the entrance is not there, and the place is locked. You wait for sometimes less than 30 minutes, sometimes more than 30 minutes, sometimes over an hour before access is given to you to the office environment. That affects your productivity. And that's one aspect of it. I've also observed a situation within the university environment where people come to work and most of what they do is to gist, exchange pleasantries, move about from office to office, and that without thinking twice affects our productivity. It goes to manifest in the way files are treated, the turnaround we get from offices. This affects all categories of staff, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, both academic and non-academic. Because I must say that sometimes our academic colleagues who are level coordinators are hardly available for the students they could meet. The same thing with non-academic staff who are hardly available to process the files that have been brought to their desk. Hence, we have so much lag in most of the activities that should drive the university. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I think something should be done about work ethics generally within the community of the University of Jos. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for your contributions. Please, do we have the representative of NASU, ASU, and NAT? Okay, please, Mr. Beatrice Daguerre, you have the floor now, please.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, my name is my observations is in respect to security. When you look at the staff that come into this university, about 80 to 85% are coming from this axis. My suggestion, sir, we have this Darie Park here, close to the campus. If needs be, sir, why can't we engage the state government so that they should allow the place to be used not as a park, maybe civil defense barrack or mobile barrack, so that will caution the effect of the security. Because I remember vividly the last crisis, a student was stabbed at the police station here, what's the name? Shafa. Killed there and out to the police station. So I was privileged to be a member of the committee set by the chairman of the local government in respect to security in this access. We brought out this suggestion, but I think it's not a suggestion is not welcome. If the university can push it, so that our students and staff they will have peace of mind when going out and coming into the university. And secondly, sir, somebody just brushed a little bit about what I was saying. That is Bangu. we have an exit. If need be, we can create a road here linked to the village down to himself for in case of any crisis for movement for staff and students that live around this place. It is not something that is hidden. We all know where we are. We all know where our university is. If anything should happen, sir, it's going to take the grace of God. So, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so very much for your contribution. The chairperson of NASU is Beatrice Dawero. Do we have that of Nat here? Mr. Aleni Luke Alex, you have the floor, please. I hope the student union government, you are getting set.
Good afternoon, everybody, especially the chief host, the vice chancellor, and also telling other groups to thank God for your office, congratulations for the 1 year in office. I'm a lab technologist, and as a matter of truth, we talked about the replacement of staff and the non-teaching, that about 22 or thereabout is what they are talking about. If that is the case, I want to personally appeal that as we make room for replacement in this area, we should consider the Department of Pathology. Because I've been the only technologist in the department for 10 years. And in 3 years' time, I will retire. I need somebody there to get properly trained before I leave. Thank you, sir. I've also discovered that this town hall meeting, the unions are recognized as stakeholders. If it is so, we also want to be recognized when commissioning of projects and other very sensitive things are taking place. Because most of the times, unions are not invited, and they were not feeling also trying.
Comrade Vice Chancellor, other principal officers, also who duly observe. Good afternoon. Well, my name is Longton Tushak. I'm the secretary of the Union of ASU. I'm just representing the chairman who is away for a NEC meeting. And we have other members of the officials of ASU who have gone on one national, ASU national assignment or the other. I think I will not bore you much with the issue because they have been raised by so many people. And we align ourselves with some of the comments that has been made. But first of all, we'd like to appreciate you and commend your effort in the last 1 year. ASU has been having a very good and cordial relationship with Mr. Vice Chancellor and the administration. So far, so good. So, Mr. Vice Chancellor, thank you very much. We have you in our meetings in spite of your tight schedules, and you make inputs in the flow of Congress. And so we are very, very grateful, and we trust that this relationship and this cordiality will continue. We appreciate you for attracting the support from TED Fund in order to secure this university in terms of perimeter fencing. I think that this will also go a long way to address the issue of security, because I think that one of the biggest issues for us in this university is the security. You know, so I hope that by that, when that is done, a lot of other things would have been addressed. We also want to appreciate you for the issue with the PG school. You know, some payments has been made, and so we're hoping that other payments will come. You know, we are welfare by nature, and so we hope that you will be able to find the resources to address it as agreed. You know, we have some few issues, but most of them, like I said, has been addressed. But I think that some time back, we had a situation where when people come into the university, they come in with their name tag. And I don't know why that was shelved. Perhaps there might be a reason. But I think that it's important that if you are a member of this community of the university, we should know that you are a member here. People shouldn't just walk into the university at will. You must have something to do with the university. Otherwise, this might be people who are stealing, who knows. So, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, perhaps you could look into this. We all have our ID cards, and perhaps we're talking about digitization. The ID cards could be digitized in such a way that you cannot access certain facilities in the university except if you are so authorized. I was in the library the other day and nobody asked me anything. I just walked into the library and I was surprised. I said, well, we've just come out of a very bad situation, God forbid, that it occur again. So we need to look at that, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. About the issue of sanitation and environmental cleanliness, it worries us when we see buildings painted and then all of a sudden people come with posters and they paste things everywhere. And I think this is not university, this is not the way university should be. Perhaps this should be addressed as well. We shouldn't see posters everywhere. We shouldn't see people throwing trash everywhere. And so it means that there might be some responsibility on the administration to provide bins, designated areas where this can be done. The traffic issues has been, stressed, so I need not to talk about that. One of the things that is of issue for us, and we wish that the Vice Chancellor addressed, is the challenge with announcing promotion during strike. We think that, well, the university has its own statutes. If there are certain procedures that can be taken away, so that when reports come back positively, they can be announced straight ahead. We wish to appeal for this, Mr. Vice Chancellor. The chairman sent his regards to you, Mr. Vice Chancellor, and principal officers. I think these are the few things that we have to present before you. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor, for this opportunity to interact, with you and the management, and we hope that this will continue, and that we wish you greater achievements in the remaining years you have in your tenure. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, the Secretary ASU, University of Jos. We have heard from the union representatives that are here. It's now time for the student union government. If they have any representative here, the student union government, please, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much. I will pray for your indulgence, Mr. Vice Chancellor, to permit me subscribe to the already established protocols. My name is Joshua Adankala, the outgoing SOG president. By God, the history of the University of Jos, I think I'm the longest serving SOG president who has served with about 3 vice chancellors. I can say a lot of things about a few years of service that I've had. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your anniversary. In your words, you said we are all here for the benefit of the students. And if all is said and done, and then the student community, if we are not happy, then it means nothing has been done. So I want to congratulate you for all the efforts you've been making to ensure that the students are well taken care of. In your achievement, I want to categorically mention this one, that I want to congratulate you on the set of appointments you've made. I think you've had the best team I've ever seen in this so far in the University of Jos. You've appointed the best team, and I pray that God will help you. I think on the 19th of August 2021, during the crisis, the union Union was not happy with the situation of things during the crisis, which we had a press conference to forward some issues to both government and management of the university, and to tell you that we are not saying it in clear terms. We are saying that we made a submission in our prayers, which one of them was we appeal to the government to, as a matter of responsibility, mount security check unit around NMBC junction of Bauchi Road, Sukwa junction of Ring Road, Bauchi junction between Rabuta village and Kidemu Injaga, Unga, Clinic Gate of Pisai, Village Hostel Gate, Origada Market, Angoro Kuba, Bauchi Road, and other places which we mentioned in our press conference the other time. I want to tell us today that the student community, we have observed and we have seen the approval and work in progress of the perimeter fencing of the University of Jos and the security outpost at the Konga community. We have seen it visibly. This is not something that we have seen in pictures, but we have seen it practically. Even the security tour, Mr. Vice Chancellor, we have seen it, and we want to thank you very much for that. Coming to talk about other places like the front of the university, we also made some recommendations, and in one of our prayers, which I want the Vice Chancellor to take note of, that the communities that host our students, such as Kunga, Gidamu Jaga, Uso Verigada, Sukwa, Angorokuba, Angorogo, and other places should be intentional about protecting the vulnerable student. The student anywhere is a custodian of posterity, and the conscience of every nation must against all odds protect the interest of the student. We want to thank you for the initiative you have started with the host community, ensuring that students have good working relationship with people who are in the community. We want to appreciate that. Coming to talk about the state of transportation in the university, we want to tell you, we are forwarding it today, that our students are suffering greatly. You wake up sometimes 6 a.m. and before you get to the university to attend your lectures, sometimes you come an hour late because of the nature of traffic. And we want you to please look into this. By God's grace, during our handing over, or perhaps after our handing over, we will officially forward this document of our press briefing that we had to you officially, so that you can have it as the major things that students actually were suffering outside. So I think the Speaker of the Parliament will make brief submissions on some of the things that we have actually noticed, and we want to call on your attention to look into them. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor, and congratulations. We pray that God will give you the strength that is needed for you to carry out this task, your remaining tenure as we proceed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. The representative of the Student Union Government, the Speaker of Parliament, are you there? Yes.
Permit me to dwell on the already established protocols. I'm by name Nashin Prosper Lakai, by the special grace of God, I'm the Speaker of SUG House of Parliament. I took the baton from my boss there, who is the President of the Union. There are a few things I would want to draw the attention of the management headed by the Vice Chancellor. One of the issues is the issue of relationship between members of the staff, be it academic and non-academic, and equally the security personnel of the institution. For a very long time now, we have seen members of the security personnel especially harass our students. And sometimes you discover that it's because of issue of lack of identification. Now, I recall I was 200, I was 100, I got admission in 2017, to be precise, but I got my ID card in my 300 level first semester. Yes, and I think that alone has made me battle with the issue of identification. Sometimes you would want to maybe have an access to the library or maybe your faculty. You discover that you've been harassed, even some of the members of the staff of the university. So I think, in my own view, I feel that the chief security officer should do more, at least by training and retraining the members of the security personnel, and I think that will go a long way to ensure that Nigerian students and the members of the staff are not being harassed. Secondly, sir, I am talking from the perspective of a poor boy. I was the one paying my school fees until now, and you will discover that some of these students, if not most of them, they struggle to even cater for themselves, even on campus. And looking at the hardship that parents are even undergoing, it's becoming quite difficult to even pay for school fees, not to be giving them stipends by month end to take them through the semesters and sessions. And I'm making a passionate appeal that if the management would look inward, that maybe during vacations, at least there should be vacation jobs, for Nigerian students living in University of Jos. At least they could be coming around. There are developments going on the campus. They could go there, get job, be doing, maybe picking a lot of dates around, and I think that will help a lot. Again, the entrepreneurship center. I think I had a course. I took a course in 200 level on entrepreneurship, but I can tell you, sir, that I never had anything called practical on entrepreneurship. So I feel the curriculum of our education sector should be designed in such a way that once you are graduating from the university, you will have a self-employed man, and then you can be able to impact the community largely. And finally, sir, I'm making also an appeal that for one of our students, some of our students who were victims of this crisis, I feel that a committee be set to investigate this issue, because I recall that the day that incident happened at the Shafa filling station, the filling station was closed. After 2 months, it was reopened, and nobody gave us an update until today. So I feel since we have a son, SAN, amongst us as our father, I think we can take up that case to consider it legally for us to be able to know why that filling station was still open, and it was there that our students was killed, and no update on that. Sir, on a final note, I would want to congratulate you for the very humongous achievement that you've recorded in the shortest period of time, despite the protracted strike. And I pray that on our own part, we'll keep, as nation and as stakeholders in nation building, we'll ensure that we keep on enlightening our own constituents to ensure that you cooperate with the management on any developmental strike they are intending to embark on. Congratulations, sir, on your 1-year anniversary as the Vice Chancellor of the prestigious University of Jos. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. I would like to thank everyone here for the contribution so far. As you are aware, sir, you have heard so much from this community of the University of Jos. Before the vote of thanks, I would like to invite you, sir, to respond to some of these contributions and make your closing remarks. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the floor is open for you.
Thank you very much. My distinguished colleagues, members of the university, first of all, I want to say that, and I want to emphasize it, that I'm actually privileged and honored to have had the opportunity of leading this great university. When we started and when I contemplated this town hall meeting, I was wondering whether staff would be willing to open up. And from what had happened within the past 2 hours or more, it's a clear demonstration that we have everything that we need in order to take this university to where we want to take it. So I want to really thank you all for all the comments, and particularly the issues that have been raised. We took about 2 hours or thereabout. I'm not going to go through each of these issues to respond. Otherwise, it may take us another 1 hour. But I can assure you that there's nothing that I have not captured in my notes. And as management, we are actually going to develop this in form of ideas and items for action. We cannot promise that all these things that have been mentioned will be addressed tomorrow. We may not even address all of them within the period of time that we have, to lead this university. But I can assure you that we will start. And we have already started. And we must continue, and we should continue. But I think the most important thing is that sitting down and listening to very excellent, suggestions has improved the capacity of this management. And secondly, I'm actually very privileged and honored to have the caliber, I think it was the Speaker Asuji that said, the caliber of people that I have in management. That's one of the reasons why sometimes when I'm in Abuja, pursuing something, I focus on that I'm pursuing, because I know I have left lieutenants that are capable and able, to continue the management and the leadership of this great institution. So I want to thank you most sincerely. The Speaker, Prosper, as you were saying, I have been telling the DDC admin, I said, I don't know, maybe God has made it possible that you are appointed as a DDC admin, so that the university will also have a pro bono SAN services. And indeed, we have been having pro bono SAN services in the University of Jos. I think it's a great value that the SAN has to contribute to the leadership of this university at this point. So I want to thank you most sincerely. Having said that, yes, indeed, we are here because of students. We are here because of students, and we must, continue to pay more attention for the quality delivery of to our students, and also for the welfare of our students. We are very, very mindful of that, and we want to continue to bear that at the back of our mind. Just a few things about promotions. I forgot, actually, I was telling the DDC Academy that I forgot to congratulate those that, despite the delay, that were able to clear out the promotion round for 2019-2020 and then 2020-2021. I want to congratulate those that merited and also got the promotions. Our plan was to make sure that by now we would have finished all the processes for this year's promotion. I understand that some of the complexes are almost there. We wanted to present the whole promotion at the last council meeting of this year, which will commence, I think, on week beginning the 19th. The complexes that are finished, we're going to probably take them. But if not, in the first quarter of the year, we will assure you that we will have finished all the promotion round. We have captured the issue of announcing promotions, even at council. Before council meetings. We are looking at the laws. In fact, we've asked the registrar to actually look at the laws. That is going to be presented at ARPC. And once it's presented at ARPC, to present it to council. And we have the approval of council. There's no reason why, if a positive assessment of the professor comes today, that we cannot announce it today. So we are actually addressing those issues. The other thing is that I want to just say is about the issue of visibility. We can spend a lot of time talking about this. ICT and the Directorate of Academic Planning and Management, we will continue to task you to make sure that staff are keen in this process of visibility. Please, if you send emails and staff are not responding, plan and visit faculties. Look, I was saying it, I said, if it has to take me to handhold a professor, especially, we do respect that, especially those professors that are gray-haired, handhold them to make sure that they use the University of Jos email in the first instance, and then begin to now use other aspects we should. So please, Director ICT, you have heard what one of the comments, and I've been having it at the back of my mind. It is not just the University of Jos. I can tell you that more than 5 or 10, even 10 vice chancellors said to me, we are looking up to you as far as ICT development is concerned in the university. So it's a challenge on me, and it's a challenge on all of us. So we will continue to make sure that we push the ICT to deliver on the mandate that they are supposed to deliver upon. Please use the University of Jos emails. In fact, I started doing it silently, but I'm now going to say it publicly. If you send an email to me using official email, using Google or Yahoo or whatever, I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to respond. If you bring any form for whatever that you want to go for, whatever application that you are planning to do, and you use your Yahoo or Google email, I'm not going to sign it. Everybody's religious email has already been created. If you have a challenge accessing it, please, the director and the ICT team are here. In fact, I have opened it to me. If you have a challenge accessing your email, you can even come to me directly. I'm also an ICT support staff, and I'll continue to do that. The digitization of results is a great concern. I think I've started championing this since I was director of ICT. But I must say this, the reason why we have not achieved the digitization of this result up to this moment is unfortunately the resistance from our own colleagues. It's the resistance from our own academics. When I was director of ICT, I would only cry to the Vice Chancellor. And I said, look, please bring up a policy so that staff must key in. I'm sorry I'm using the word must, but it's a reality that we must have to adopt the technology because that is where the world is at the moment. And sometimes the VC will say, okay, we'll do this. When I had the opportunity of being the chairman of Resource Scrutiny Committee, the last meeting we held, and I'm saying this to the GVC Academy, the last meeting we held that I had the opportunity of holding, I said this academic session, if any department brings in paper results, we are not going to look at it. I don't know where we are, DVC, with respect to it. There's a hybrid now, WhatsApp and hard copy. That's a process of migration. It's a good process of migration. We must continue to be that. We want by the time, by the time results are being approved, students should be able to see their results. At the moment, we have some cases when, for instance, students are delayed for whatever reason or another, they cannot progress, or they progress in anticipation, and then maybe after 1 year, the results will come out, and then they will be told that, oh, they have not progressed, and it's creating a lot of embarrassment of the system. We actually have a very robust system as far as student result processing, up to the Senate format and generation of human transcripts. But because staff has not been keyed in, that's the reason why we have not been able to achieve that. I'm honored and I thank God for giving me the privilege to be at the driver's seat at the moment. We will make sure that we enforce the policy. We enforce the policy of the use of technology because that is the way forward. A lot of fantastic ideas have come in. I think someone says it. At the end of the day, when I catalog all those ideas, I want to implement it. Bossa, what do we have? Bossa will say X, Y, Z. So that's the unfortunate thing. And that is one of the reasons why someone says that we cannot continue to stay on the statutory amount that students actually pay. And it's very saddening. And as I'm saying it, I know it's very painful. But unfortunately, the amount that students contribute at the moment cannot take us anywhere. It cannot take us anywhere. Actually, the 45,000 is not statutory because I actually come to realize that different universities around us have different rates, different amounts that students actually pay. So we will come back. I started this, and we will not do it without interaction with stakeholders. And I started this with respect to, adding 10,000 on 10,000 here, 15,000 here on student accommodation. During that time, even NAS wanted to create the crisis. But thankfully, because we carried the SUG along, they were able to protect us. So I want to thank you, Mr. President and the Speaker, because I know what they did in order to avert what the national NAS wanted to actually bring into this particular university. What we receive from government, apart from the special intervention from different agencies, apart from the mega salary that government pays us, I would say it's mega salary, that government pays us, we receive, I think for the past 3 years or so, and up to this year, government only gives the University of Jos an average of 115 million as overhead. 150 million as overhead. That 150 million cannot service our electricity. Just payment of electricity bills, director of the school facility. At the moment, we're spending about 20-something million per month. That does not include diesel. So that's why, for instance, the Dean of Basic Medical Science, when the generators are down, you know, we don't have diesel. We want to buy diesel, but there's no funds for us to be able to do that. The cleaning, I think we are spending about 20 million or so on cleaning services. A month. No, 20-something million. A month on cleaning services. But, Director of Health Services, you have heard some comments. Please, it shouldn't be business as usual. Somebody has been given a responsibility, they must do those responsibilities. So you need to make sure that you deploy people that will be monitoring those cleaning services. Because some of the complaints are actually about around the areas that cleaning services are supposed to be cleaning. So we need to be doing monitoring. The issue of security is a sad story. Honestly, and seriously, you know, we have been talking about it. I can tell you that the DVC admin, SAN, who is supposed to be the chairperson of the security, has just come in. He's looking at all the issues, and management will, at an appropriate time, unveil the kind of security architecture that we are going to deploy in this particular university. We'll continue to be responsive on those things that we are supposed to be responsive about. We are conscious of the accommodation, and I can tell you, Joe, that as we speak, we already have 2 indications of interest to go into the EPP for the development of student accommodation. So we are exploring that. We are going to be, of course there's a process. Unfortunately, when I say there's a long process with respect to the employment, it's not only with respect to employment. The federal government and the other agencies now have it that anything that you have to do in the university, you have to follow the long road. Council has directed, as an example, for the university to procure this Naraguta Country Club. This country club. The process has been done, everything has been done. We have got some money, a little bit of money from the federal government to pay. I dare not say, but if you hear one day that I've been locked in by EFCC or ICPC, is that we have some funds and other agencies are delaying the procurement of this Naraguta Country Club by the 30th of December. By the 30th of December, this money is going to be mocked. It's going to be mocked up. So, as management, we are going to take the bull by the horn and make sure that the process whatever that we have, we will continue to process the payment, and then pay with the money that we have, the remaining that we don't have. But that may lead me to ICPC. I do not care. So, like I said, I want to really, in conclusion, really appreciate all of you. We sat down here, everybody patiently, making really very excellent contributions. the grace of God, we have now set up a basis for assessing our performance. At the next town hall meeting, I want you to ask us where are we with respect to XYZ that was raised, XYZ that was raised. If we have excuses, we can give excuses, but I can assure you that if we are giving you excuses, it's only because we are hitting the big wall. But we are not going to stay and sit back. The one thing that I've forgotten to mention is that when someone says that we should ask the Joshua Daria Park for whatever, as we speak, we have funding to build a police post. We want to site it outside of this gate, here, outside of, just close to the town, where you are seeing a lot of gas plants that somebody wanted to put in some gas plants. We have written to the IGP because even the design, we have to, apparently, we have to get the design approved by the Inspector General of Police. Up to this moment, we have been following. I had a brother who was a deputy DIG and was following up, but unfortunately he retired, and he got retired, and now we have to start again all over again. But we will follow up. Director of Fiscal Facilities. Again, time is not on our side. We may still have to revisit that if we need to start construction, if they respond to us, because we have the funds, the due process has been done, the contractor has been mobilized, so maybe that's something that we need to look at also and begin to actually make the work, start the work. So thank you all so much. Like I said, I didn't even know that I'd taken more than 30 minutes, but we want to really thank everybody for this commitment. Please, when we invite you again for the town hall meeting, please create time, make out time, just like we have done today, despite the short notice. The final thing and final this time around is that our doors are open. If you have said something that you didn't think you have captured it very well, please write it down and send it to us. Like I said, we are going to catalog all these ideas, and so that we begin to look at the work. That is not to say that some of these were not already in our plan, they are, but we know we need to put them together towards ensuring that we begin to work on those things. Thank you most sincerely. It's not the end. We are just starting these kinds of interactions. At some point, we will probably have interactions with students alone, and maybe at some point with staff alone. I know that when I came on board, I started visiting faculties. Unfortunately, I think I visited only maybe one college or so before the strike started. But we will also continue to do that, visiting faculties, trying to have an open conversation that will help us to move forward as far as development and progress of this university is concerned. So I want to thank you again. We continue to pray for God to continue to protect us, to guide us, and to give us more wisdom on how we will continue to make this university a great place to be and a great name that it should be. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor. Please, ladies and gentlemen, may we now put our hands together to the Vice Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor for putting up this noble idea of town hall meeting. At this juncture, I would like to invite Professor Danny McCain for the closing prayers, after which we will have the university anthem and national anthem. Thank you so very much.
Our Father, we thank you for this special occasion that you have given to us. Thank you for the
achievements during this first year of our Vice Chancellor's tenure. We thank you for the rich contributions of the people in this room. There are a lot of smart and wise people here. And the Bible says, in the multitude of many counselors, there's wisdom. So we thank you for all the wisdom that has been shared here today. We pray now that you would bless the Vice Chancellor and his administration as they attempt to sort through all these ideas and implement them as they can. We pray you would give us patience, and as we work together to make our university what you want it to be, we commit ourselves and the rest of this day into your holy hands in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you very much. May we all rise. On behalf of the Information and Publications Unit, thank you for coming. We've come to the end of this event. We wish you safe travels. Thank you.